Just 1 minute, sharing my screen. Okay, it is visible to all. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
See, yesterday we have started learning the unit number 2. Okay, the name of unit is functions. Last session, yesterday's session, we have learned what is meant by the reference argument. Before that, we have learned what is basics of the function. Okay, what is meant by the function call, what is meant by function definition, what is function declaration, function body, and so on. Okay, and as we have learned here reference argument, okay, I can pass the to the function. I think it is more similar to this, so that's why we have learned this point yesterday, the return by reference. Okay, so these 2 points we have covered. Okay, today we are going to learn the point, okay, what is mean by the inline function first. Okay, and then we are going to learn what is mean by the default arguments. Okay, so today's our topic of discussion is understand the inline function, and then we are going to understand what is mean by the default argument. Okay, so I'm just moving to the first slide. So the name itself is, the name of function is inline function. Okay, so let us start understanding first point. Every time a function is called, okay, so it takes a lot of extra time in executing a series of instructions for the task such as, so whenever the function is called from the main function, okay, generally what happens, it will first jump to that function where the code of the function is written, or the function body is written, or the function definition is there. Okay, so it will jump the instruction to that particular position or in the memory location where that code of the function is stored or the body of the function is stored. Then it is going to save the register also. Okay, because it should not affect, because you are knowing whenever the function is called, okay, we are using the stack, and the stack is going to save the values of the register, okay, which are there in the main function, because you are moving from main function to another function. So control is transferred from main function to some specific function. So it is going to save the register or the variable values which are used in the main function. So it is called as saving registers. Then it is going to pushing the arguments into the stack. So now these are the arguments which we have passed to the function. So it is going to push the arguments which are passed to the function into the stack, and after executing the code of the function or the body of the function, after this it is going to return back to the calling function or maybe the main function. If I am called the function from main, so it will return back to the main function and execute the next instruction. Okay, so this is what the sequence, okay, whenever the function is called from saving registered, pushing the argument into the stack, executing, and then returning back to the calling function. Okay, so all these things involve extra time. I think I have underlined here. This is required some extra time, and if the same function is called n number of times in the my program, okay, if I am calling the same function more number of times in my program, so every time the control goes to that particular memory space or where it is stored and all these things. So generally our aim was to reduce the time, or the we can say the size of the program code should be simple to understand, so we are using the function. But it should not happen that the function, okay, due to the having so many functions, the total time required for the program to execute should be higher. Okay, so there should not be more extra time, okay, due to the use of the function. Okay, so that's why I think we have learned this thing into the C programming. Okay, so I think before going to this point, I just understand the second point is when the function is small. Okay, my function is having only 2-3 statement. Okay, it is not having so many statement. So if my function is small, a substantial percentage of execution time may be spent in such overheads. Actually, it has to execute 2 instruction only because my function is small, having only 2 or 3 instruction. Okay, but just to execute this 2 or 3 instruction, I think extra time is there to jump to that function, save register, and all this thing. Okay, so whenever the function size is small, okay, then unnecessarily more extra time or overhead is involved. To move control will be passed to that function. Okay, save the things in the register or the stack. Okay, push it into the arguments which are passed, and then come back. that will take substantially more time. That's why you are knowing the solution for this in the C programming language is we use the macros. Okay, I think we have learned in the advanced C concept. So one solution is to use the macro definition, okay, known as macros in the C. Okay, so generally we have learned that in advanced C concept, okay, that we should use the macros. If my size of the function is small, then instead of using the function, make it as a macro. Okay, so that will be saves the time. Okay, but now in C++, okay, that is in the C, but C++ is providing one more thing for this, that is called as inline function. Okay, so I have written this point. C++ has different solution to this problem. To eliminate the cost of calls to the small function, C++ proposes a new feature called inline function. Okay, what we have to mention is we have to mention that I should call it a function as an inline, so it will be expanded there itself, similar to the macro, and the time to jump to that particular function, save this register, push arguments on the stack, return back from the function to the main function, all will be saved. Okay, and that is what is called as inline function. Okay, so remember, I think as I told, it is more similar to the macros. Okay, but here in C++, instead of macros, we are using the function as an inline. Okay, now the next point is an inline function is a function that expanded in line when it is invoked. Means it is going to expand, means whatever the code of the function, number of arguments or the statements which are there in the function will be executed there itself. The control is not transferred at all. The inline functions are expanded in line there itself. That line itself, whenever the function is called, it will be expanded, and when it is invoked. Okay, so there is no need to have all these activities if I am making the function as an inline. There is no need to jump to the function, no need to save the register, pushing the stack, return back to the function. All this extra time will not be involved. Okay, if I am making the function as a inline. Okay, now that is the compiler replaces the function call with the corresponding function code or function body similar to the macro expansion. Okay, so if I write the function as an inline, if I'm marking the function as an inline, then the compiler replaces the function call with the corresponding function code. Okay, so all this time will be saved, and that is what is called as the inline function. Okay, I hope all of you understood. When you are going to use inline function, if the size of the function is small, okay, and if you use it as an inline, definitely the time for execution will be reduced. Okay, your program execution time will be reduced because there is no need to go or jump to the function call, go to that particular memory location, because it is expanded in line. Okay, at the same line it is expanded the code and executed immediately. Okay, so that's why I told it is more similar to the macro as we have learned into the C programming. Okay, but here we are not considering it as a macro, but we make the name of the function as a inline function. Okay, is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm just moving to the next slide to have more understanding of the inline function. Okay, so I'm just showing that how the inline functions are defined here. Okay, example. Okay, is this visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, see here what we are having is, what is the syntax that we are having? This is the syntax. What I have to use? I have to use the keyword inline. Okay, inline is the keyword. Then I'm just writing the function header or the name of the function. Then I opening bracket, curly bracket, I'm going to use the function body. Getting me? So if you add this keyword, okay, before the definition of the function, okay, I think it is considered as the function will be inline. Okay, inline will be added. I think this is the normal way we are going to declare the function. Okay, what is this double? Double indicate it is the return type. Okay, so cube is the name of the function. Getting me? And it is having the argument a. Okay, and is of the type double. Okay, so double return type. Name of the function is cube, and the double a, okay, is the argument I am passing to this. Okay, and what is the code that we have written? Okay, to have a cube for this. So I am going to just return a into a into a. So I'm just performing the I'm just taking the cube of that particular number. So I'm just going to take the a into a into a, only one statement for this cube function. So it is better to make it as an inline function. Okay, so I'm just going to make this function as an inline. So this inline keyword will, what it will do? It will expand whenever the function cube is called. Okay, when the function cube is called, it will be its code. आता code काय आहे? Return a bracket a into a into a. Whatever the code is there. This is function body. okay, that will be expanded inline there itself. Okay, so and that is what we are considering, and that is what the advantage of the inline function. It's a very simple function. We just have to add the inline keyword to it. Okay, now the above inline function can be invoked in the statement. Suppose I'm calling this from the main function. Okay, so now this is going to return the value, so I must store the value somewhere here. So suppose this is double C, because I'm using the data type as a double everywhere. So I consider C and D is also of the type double. C is equal to cube bracket 3.0. Okay, suppose I'm passing this value, so it will return me the 3 into 3 into 3. Okay, that is my C value. Okay, now here another case that we are having. Okay, I think we are having this. I want to find out the cube of the 2.5. Okay, so I'm just going to give this plus 1.5. Okay, so this is one of the example that we are having. This is my function call, but this code is expanded inline. Okay, I think there is no need to consider into the more complexity. So it is very simple. Okay, if you feel that the function is small, having only 2 or 3 statement, so it is better that you go for the make the function as a inline. Or if you clear with this, I'm just going to make the function as the inline function. Okay, I think I will not go for the execution of this program. I think there is no need for me to consider it as a class. Inside the class also we can use this as an inline function. Okay, but now we are just focusing more on the function. Okay, so when we go for the inheritance and related, at that time we will use this, okay, in the form of the classes and the member function. Okay, so I just want to make this as the example. Okay, let us type this. Okay, so if you want to have the answer for this query or the question, okay, then it is possible for us to just go for this. Okay, so I just want to perform the I think it is not necessarily I have to use the cube function. I can add so many functions over there, maybe multiplication function, maybe the division function. Okay, I can make it as an inline function. Okay, the code of the function is small. Okay. Now, and before move to the next slide, I think it is better we just execute the program immediately to understand how we are making it as an inline function. Okay. So I just open the Turbo C editor. The things are very simple. Okay, I think the program is also very simple. Okay, so I just open. I think we have the habit of giving the name of program as U2, means unit number 2, program 3 dot cpp. Okay, so what is the name of the program? What is the purpose of the program? Is my editor is visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Writing here program to demonstrate the use of inline function. Okay, so I will not make the things complicated. I'm just making it as very simple. Okay, so instead of writing the function over here directly, I think before, if I write after main, I need to write prototype of the function, correct? But if I write directly the function first and then main function afterward, there is no need to have prototype. So I directly write down the function. So what is my function should be? I want to make it as an inline. So I'm just using the inline. What is the return type of the function? I think you can use the double and whatever we have used, but not necessarily it is required for the cube. Okay, I will use the same example. Anybody remember what we have shown on the PPT? The name of function is inline. What is this return type is double, correct? And the name of function is cube, correct? I am passing a variable a to it. Getting me? Shall I give semicolon here? If I give semicolon, it will becomes the prototype. I directly want to write down the code of the function. This is my function definition. Okay, and what I'm going to return is return a into a. Okay, so this is the simple inline function we are having. Okay, so in main function I should write the main function. I think we have to call this particular function, and it is the return value which is going to return it. So I declare the variable. Okay, CLR. I can declare variable anywhere in the program, not necessarily as a top. I use double. Okay, suppose I'm passing two values to this. Okay, or just pass one value. I think it is the okay. So I call it as suppose pass this value, or directly we can call the function. Na? So I write the value directly. There is no need to declare the variable. But to store this value, I require the variable. So I call it as result. Okay, double result. Okay, directly call the inline function here. Okay, so result is equal to okay, what is the name of function? Q. What I have to pass? I have to pass any one value to it. Okay, suppose I take the value as 3.0. Okay, as we have considered the example, I just take the same value 3.0, and I think I must display the value to check whether the output is correct or not. Okay, cout double quote slash n cube is, or the answer result is, I have to give here, make the habit of using end l, or you can use slash n, no issue, and it is result. Getting me? Ch. A very simple program just to show how we can use the inline function. F2 save, F9. Yes, what we have done? Yes, anyone knows? We have not included iostream.h and unio.h. We have directly started writing down the function. Okay, so hash include stdio. No, I think I must use iostream.h. Okay, iostream.h for C++ and then unio.h. Unio.h. F2 to save, F9, control F9. Okay, so 3 into 3, 9, 9 into 3, 27. Okay, I think it has shown the correct result or the answer. Okay, is it clear to all? Hello. Yes, is it clear to all the students? Very simple program. Just I'm adding the inline function over here. Similarly, you can add so many functions. Okay, suppose you are doing the software. Okay, I'm considering you are doing something. Okay, maybe to calculator. Your main purpose of this program is to make the calculator. So calculator having all the function. Okay, square root is there, multiplication, division. Okay, so I just add one more function as a multiplication. Suppose. Okay, so I write it here inline. Okay, suppose the name of function is multiplication. And for multiplication, I may not require to use double. I use float. Return type is float. Name of function is mul, multiplication. Okay, it has accept two values, float x, comma, float y. Okay, I should not give semicolon because I'm writing the body of the function here. Inline function, multiplication. Return type is float. I'm passing two x and y values which are float to this. Okay, so what it should return, it will perform the multiplication and return it. So it will be x into y. Very simple. Okay, I'm just showing how you can add all this function. And now just to execute the one statement or two statement, if I not declare it as an inline function, I think it will take more time. Okay, because the control goes from main function over here. Okay, it has to save this registers. It has to push the parameters I'm passing float x and y values to this. So it will take more time. So better it is mark it as an inline. Okay, so return is x into y. Okay, so let us call this function also in the main function. And I'm passing here. Again, I have to store this result. Okay, one variable is required, so I use it as a float multiplication r. Okay, result of multiplication r mul. Okay, suppose I write down the variable. Okay, so this is correct, no issue. This is for cube. So now I'm going to pass the function for multiplication. Okay, so what is the answers to be stored in multi r mul is equal to name of function is multiplication. You can take this value from the user and you can pass, or I can pass it directly. Okay, so I can pass these values okay, directly, or I can declare the variable a and b, take the values from the user. Okay, so whatever the way you find it as convenient to you. Okay, so I want to find out the multiplication of 45.77 into 66.89. Okay, suppose. Okay, I declare the result here. See out. Once again, whatever I'm doing, I'm just showing you in this way you can add so many functions in your program. Hello. the result of multiplication. To save, control F9. Yes, you can find cube value is 27 because we have passed 3 and multiplication is 3061.55. I think what we have passed, I will not remember. Okay, we have passed it directly from the function. Definitely should be the correct value. Okay, so is this clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, our aim is, okay, what I want to say is, in this case, suppose you are doing the program for the calculator. Okay, so calculator is having all the functions. Suppose you want to demonstrate all this, maybe use computer graphics also, graphical interface to this. Okay, then you, if you are, suppose for the square root, to find out the square root or anything, any function you are having, or to find out the log. Okay, so whatever the function that you are having, it is having only 1 or 2 lines of the code and it is going to return the value. So it is better to make all these function as an inline. If you make all this function as an inline, then the execution time will be very fast. Okay, your calculator or the program will gives you the very quick result. Okay, because there is no time wasted or overhead to move the. And now in this case, what is going to happen? See, whenever I have called the inline function here, cube. Okay, so the code for the cube, that is return a into a into a, will be expanded here itself. Okay, the control will not be transferred to this function. Directly the code is expanded at this inline, the position here, and directly will execute and give the answer. So it is time saving. Okay, so you have to find out. So whenever you are doing any software, you have to find out if the function is having less number of statement or instruction. It is better to make it as an inline function, which will increase the speed of your software, or the execution time will be minimum. Okay, is it clear to all? Hello. Yes, this is clear
Yes,
to all the
sir.
students. So you can take down the screenshot of this, okay, and implement the program. The inline should be added before the function declaration. Okay, or the, because after inline we are having the return type normal. This is return type, name of the function, argument it is passing as it is. त्याच्या आधी फक्त inline keyword add करायचा आहे. Okay. Shall I move to the next page? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is very simple. Okay. Similarly, you can add division, you can add square root function. Okay. I'm just giving this as an example. Okay, so how you can write your program. Okay, so with this, okay, I just coming back to the PPTs now. Okay, so we have started over here. You've seen this. Okay, we have to see this one now. Okay, I want everyone to just concentrate on this PPTs. One more point is there related to the inline. Then we can go to the default argument. Okay, so inline function. The inline keyword sends a request to the compiler, and it is not a command to the compiler. Okay, so it is just a request to the compiler to expand the function there itself. Okay, don't call the function, don't transfer the control to the function, rather it is a request to expand there itself. Okay, now here the compiler may ignore this request. Okay, so compiler will not expand it there itself, though you have written the inline function, inline keyword you have used. Okay, but the function definition is too long. Okay, or it is too complicated. Getting me? Then the compile the function, or compiler compile the function as a normal function. म्हणजे जरी तुम्ही inline function use केलेला असेल, inline keyword use केलेला असेल, and the body of the function is having suppose 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 instruction in the function. Okay, the function is having more than, or more than 3-4 instruction. Okay, then what the compiler will do? Compiler will not expand there itself because it will be too complicated. Okay, so the size of the function is long or the large. So compiler, I call that this C++ compiler is very smart. Though you use the inline function and your code or your function definition is having too long Function definition is having too long or the too complicated. Just 1 minute. एक minute. एक minute. Just 1 minute.